Segera subscribe channel bermanfaat ini, klik lonceng notifikasi supaya tidak ketinggalan video terbaru. Jangan lupa like, komen, dan share video ini ke teman-teman kalian. Semoga bermanfaat. Okay everyone, take a look at here. Let's listen one by one about the listening test. Ini adalah gambaran tes listening IELTS sebanyak 40 soal. Kita akan jawab bersama, kita akan bahas bersama-sama, dan jika ada yang berbeda jawabannya, let's discuss it. Mari kita diskusikan. Oke, kita akan coba jawab nomor 1 sampai nomor 10. Seperti biasa teman-teman, in every single time before you listen the audio, biasakan try to customize yourself to read the questions first. Oke, baca dulu soalnya. Ada di sebelah sini. Section 1 1 sampai 10 dan question untuk 1 sampai 6. Write no more than 2 word. Itu arahannya ya. No more than 2 word. Gak boleh lebih dari 2 kata or a number. Ya. Nah, di sini teman-teman diminta mengisi formulir sepertinya ini ya. Preston Park Run. Oke, start of run, mulainya di mana? In front of the, di depan apa? Time of the start, mulainya jam berapa ya? Oke, length of the run, jarak larinya. At the end of the run, volunteer scan. Nah, volunteer itu akan nge-scan apa? Akan men-scan apa? Best way to register on the, di mana tuh register terbaiknya, register yang paling direkomendasikan di mana. Cost of run, harganya berapa nih, harga buat pendaftarannya. Oke, nah udah ada bayangan tuh. Oke, udah ada bayangan kalau digituin dulu. Kita akan listen bareng-bareng everyone. Kita akan langsung listen nomor 1 sampai nomor 6 everyone. Yuk.
Recording 39. You will hear a telephone conversation between the organizer of a park run and a woman who wishes to take part in the run. First, you have some time to look at questions 1.
Suaranya kok
Apa gimana?
suaranya kok nggak kedengeran ya?
Oh,
Mungkin belum audio ya, mungkin kayaknya connect audionya belum mungkin.
wait. I would like to
Nggak
handle it first.
nggak sejelas biasanya gitu.
Wait ya, sebentar ya. Ada
Kayak jelas gitu.
sepertinya ada masalah. Oke, coba sekarang ya.
Recording 39. You will hear a telephone conversation.
How about this? Is it clear?
That's good and clear.
Oke, good ya. Sip. Yuk.
Between the organizer of a park run and a woman who wishes to take part in the run. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
Nah, jeda kan? Nah, itu jedanya tuh kira-kira 20 detikan.
Oh, ini.
Udah guys, 20 detikan. Pakai buat baca soalnya. Ini tuh jeda nih.
Oh, I see.
Oke, sip before
Yep.
the speaker say.
Good morning, Dave Smith speaking.
Hi, could I speak to the organiser of the Preston Park Run?
Yes, that's me.
Great. I was talking to some friends of mine about the run, and they suggested I contact you to get some more details.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Well, they said it takes place every Saturday. Is that right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great.
Do you know where the park is?
Oh, yes, I've been there before, but it's quite big and I'm not sure where to go.
Well, there's a circular track that goes right around the park. The run starts at the cafe, goes past the tennis courts, then twice around the lake and finishes back where it started.
Okay, and what time is the run?
Well, the actual run begins at 9 a.m, but the runners start arriving at about 8:45.
Okay, so I need to get up early Saturday morning then. And how long is the run?
Well, it used to be 3 kilometres, but most people wanted to do a bit more than that, so we lengthened it to 5 kilometres. We now go round the lake twice, and that adds an extra 2 kilometres.
Right. Not sure I've ever run that far, so I'd better start doing a bit of training.
That's a good idea. But it's not a race, it's really just for fun. And the best thing would be to take it easy the first few times you do it, and then see if you can gradually improve your time.
Is the run timed then? How do I know how well I've done?
When you cross the finish line, you'll be given a barcode, and you take this to one of the run volunteers who will scan it. Then you can get your time online when you go home.
Oh, I see. You collect all the results.
Exactly.
I see. That's great. So, how do I register?
Well, there are several ways. I could take your details over the phone, but it's much easier if you do it using the website.
Okay, good. I think that's probably all I need to know for now. Oh yes, does it cost anything to register, or do you collect money each week?
Well, it doesn't cost anything to register, but we do charge for the run. In fact, we have just increased the charge to £1.50. It used to be £1, but because we were making a bit of a loss, we have had to increase it by 50p.
Okay, thanks. I think I have enough information on taking part in the run.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 7 to 10.
Okay, sip. Number 1, start of the run in front of the, come on, apa itu? In front of the
Kafe ya, Kak ya?
cafe, betul sekali, nice. Cafe.
Cafe.
Ragu sih.
Okay, nice. Double F ya?
Nah itu.
Double F ya? If I'm
Double
not
F
mistaken,
atau
double F
F1
ya?
ya?
Try to
Single
help,
F, single
help
F,
me
Kak.
guys. Hah?
Single F, single
Single
F.
F, single F. Oke, sorry ya. Single F.
Kalau yang double F tuh yang pick up.
sih.
Oke, sip. Time
Oh, ya.
of the start. Kapan dimulai nih?
9 AM bukan ya?
9 AM,
9 AM.
betul sekali. 9 AM ya?
Nah, itu penulisan EM-nya gimana yang betul ya, Kak?
Gini
Kalau
aja. Boleh 9
besar,
AM seperti ini, boleh
Oke.
9 o'clock juga boleh. Teman-teman boleh bilang 9 o'clock seperti ini juga boleh.
Itu nggak pakai titik ya, Kak, memang nulisnya.
Ini kayak misalkan gini.
EM-nya.
Cok,
EM-nya.
Oh, gini. Sebetulnya gini juga bisa sih. Gak apa-apa. Gini juga gak apa-apa. It's okay. Pokoknya 9 AM aja. Jangan 9 PM, oke? 9 PM lari malam-malam dong. Tapi ada sih yang lari malam-malam ya, oke? Tapi jangan ya, guys. Saya merekomendasikan jangan.
Sorry, takutnya nulisnya kalau pakai huruf besar, terus kita pakai huruf kecil salah gitu loh, Kak. Yang betul itu pakai huruf kecil atau huruf besar kalau EM, PM?
Huruf kecil sih.
Sama aja sih kayaknya.
Sebetulnya mah gini ya, saya akan coba gini aja deh ya, karena saya merekomendasikan teman-teman menggunakan caps lock. Ya, makanya tadi saya menggunakan, sebenarnya nggak ngaruh sih yang kecil yang besar juga. There's no change.
Oh, I see.
Apa-apa. Saya pakai caps lock aja ya biar kebiasaan buat teman-teman semua ya, karena nanti saya merekomendasikan ketika teman-teman tes IELTS pakai caps lock ya, pakai uppercase ya. Oke, untuk ngisinya. Sip, length of the run tadi jauhnya berapa tadi?
45 minutes.
5
5, yes, 5 kilometer, nice.
kilometers.
5 kilometers ya. At the end of the run, volunteers scan apa tuh?
Barcode.
Betul sekali, barcode. Nice. Saya pakai uppercase ya. Barcode. Okay, good. Number 5.
Singular.
Ya,
Website.
barcode. Best way to register gimana tuh?
Website.
Website, betul sekali, di website ya. Website. Okay, good. Number 6 terakhir, cost of the run berapa tuh?
1.50
pound.
1 pound.
150 pound. Oke, seperti ini ya. 1.50 aja. 150. Oke, jadi inilah isinya.
Oh,
Oke, nomor 1 sampai 6. Oke, kalau misalnya ada yang salah, that's okay. We are learning. Kita namanya juga lagi belajar. Oke. So, yeah, that's okay. Sip. Kita langsung ke bawah. Ini sudah ya disamakan ya. Number 1 cafe, number 2 9 AM, number 3 5 km. Kalau mau ditulis lengkap juga boleh 5 km gitu ya, gak apa-apa. Barcode, website 1 and 50. Nice. Kita ke bawah lagi guys. Kita akan kerjakan nomor 7 sampai nomor 10. Oke, take a look at here. Nah, seperti biasa teman-teman. Makanya tadi ada jeda ya. Setiap mau jump ke audio itu pasti ada jeda guys. Nah, jedanya itulah kita harus pakai. Kita harus gunakan jedanya itu buat melihat soalnya. Jangan sampai kita nggak melihat soalnya. Oke, jangan sampai. Nih, di sini ada volunteering, contact name, Pete. Ini pasti nama orang nih. Pete apa gitu kan. Kalau biasanya ini spelling nih. Kita akan langsung dihadapkan dengan soal spelling. Phone number, number seperti biasa. Oke. Activities, setting up course. Oke, activitiesnya apa? Bla bla bla, the runners. Ngapain si runners tuh? Ngapain para pelari itu? Ini namanya, ini pasti nama aktivitas nih. Nomor 10, bla 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 for weekly report. Oh, biasanya ini apa tuh? Ngerjain laporan kah atau apakah? Gitu kan. Jadi setidaknya kita punya tebakan, kita punya prediksi sebelum kita mendengarkan audionya. Oke, nah kalau udah seperti ini, let's listen to the audio now. Oke, nomor 7 sampai nomor 10 ya.
7. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
You mentioned volunteers. I have a friend who is interested in helping out. Can you give me some details so I can pass them on to her?
Sure. Well, you need to ask your friend to contact Pete Morn. He manages all the volunteers.
Okay. I didn't quite catch his surname. Was it Morn? M-O-R-N?
No, just a bit more complicated. It's M-A-U-G-H-A-N.
Right. Thanks. And could you give me his phone number?
Yes, just a moment. It's here somewhere. Let me just find it. Ah, I've 2 numbers for him. I think the one that begins 01273 is an old one. So use this one. It's 01444 73290.
Okay. Got that. Can you tell me anything about the volunteering? Like what kind of activities it involves?
Sure. Well, we need volunteers for basic stuff like setting up the course. We have to do that before all the runners arrive.
Okay, so that's a really early start.
Yes, that's right. But if your friend would prefer to arrive a bit later, she can also help with guiding the runners so they don't go the wrong way.
I see. I believe you do a report on some of the races.
Yes, that's right. In fact, we do a weekly report on each race, and we always try to illustrate it.
Okay. Well, my friend really likes taking photographs. She's just bought a new camera.
Actually, that would be great. I don't know whether Pete has anyone to take photographs this week.
Oh, I'll let her know.
OK, good. Could you ask your friend to phone Pete and let him know?
Yes, I will.
OK, thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, sip. Number 7. Pete. Pete 1, everyone.
Morgan.
Morgan, yeah. M. M-A-U-G-H-A-N, ya. Morgan.
Yep.
Betul sekali. Phone number, tadi berapa nomornya?
0 1
4
4
Triple ya.
double
444. Terus?
4 7
7
7 3 2
2
9 0.
Oke, 900 atau 900. Oke, sip. Setting up course. Yang pertama itu adalah
Guiding the runners.
guiding. Oke, guiding the runners. Oke, sip. Apa itu guiding?
Mendampingi.
Mendampingi atau membimbing.
Oh, iya.
Mendampingi boleh. Oke, nomor 10 itu adalah
Illustrating.
Take photograph.
oh, take photographs. Betul sekali. Take photographs. Nice. Take. Ini saya kelepasan ya, saya pakai lower case ya. Harusnya ini pakai upper case ya. Saya ini kecolongan tuh. Take ganti sebelah sini aja ya. Oke, guiding over here. Terus di sebelah sini take photograph.
Kak, itu yang nomor 10 bukannya jadi gerund ya, Kak? Jadi taking gitu, Kak.
Tadi dia bilangnya take atau taking?
Karena dia di awal kalimat. Enggak.
Coba. No, we don't talk about grammar first. We talk about the audio here. Okay, first, take a look at here.
In fact, we do a weekly report on each race, and we always try to illustrate it.
Okay. Well, my friend really likes taking photographs. She's just bought a new camera.
Actually, that would be great. I don't know whether Pete has anyone to take photographs this week.
Oh, I'll let her know.
Okay, good. Could you ask...
Take photograph. Only take, everyone. Tadi menggunakan taking karena sebelumnya ada love. Oke, aktivitas sebetulnya adalah take photograph. Ya, only take. Take, tuh kan, lupa mulu saya. Foto.
Jadi nggak apa-apa ya, kayak di atasnya semuanya pakai setting, guiding, terus bawahnya pakai tick gitu nggak apa-apa ya?
Sebetulnya harusnya taking sih, cuman saya lihatnya tadi take photographs.
Ada dua, Kak, ada dua. Yang satunya taking photograph, yang satunya pakai tick memang. Ada
take
dua.
photographs. Ya, maybe ini sebetulnya kalau dalam kaidah grammar taking sih, kalau dalam kaidah pergrammaran mah.
Ya,
ini emang
masalahnya kalau
taking.
IELTS kita isinya
Wait.
keliru itu salah.
I love taking photograph. I don't know. Ya kayaknya taking deh. Oke. Taking aja deh. Taking. That's okay. Taking. Kalau secara gramatikal, yes. Cuman betul ya tadi saya nggak ngedenger takingnya pas di awal ya. Taking. Nice everyone. Taking photographs. Ya, itu isinya ya. Setting up the course, guiding the runners, and then taking the photographs for the weekly report. Oke, semuanya menggunakan uppercase. Oke? Sip. Sip ya, sama semuanya ya. Morgan, ini nomornya. Guiding, ini adalah taking photographs. Good. Kalau sudah, kita ke soal selanjutnya. Dari sebelah sini everyone. Section 2, 11 sampai 20. Kita diminta menjawab nomor 11 sampai nomor 14 terlebih dahulu. Nah, di sini ada arahannya, no more than 3 words. Nggak boleh lebih dari 3 kata. Or even a number. For each answer. Nah, seperti biasa teman-teman, before you listen to the audio, try to read the questions first. Di sini ada pemberhentian bus, lokasi, dan hal-hal yang bisa dilihat. Nah, pemberhentian bus yang pertama namanya, lokasinya ada di train station, yang bisa dilihat start of tour. Oke. Bus stop to the aquarium, dolphins and apa tuh? Dolphins and what? Berarti nama binatang lagi. Bus stop 3, lokasinya di mana? Yang bisa dilihat yacht and power boats. Ya, berarti perperahuan lah ya. Bus stop 4, apa tuh? Bla 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 center. Yang bisa dilihat the very old apa? Berarti ini nama benda nih, very old what gitu kan. Sip, kalau ada prediksi, kalau sudah ada prediksi seperti itu, let's listen to the audio first. Oke, sip ya.
Recording 40. You will hear a recorded message about a bus tour. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
Nah, ini ada jeda nih guys. Jeda ini dipakai buat lihat soalnya ya.
Thank you for calling the phone line for the Pacton-on-Sea bus tour. This is a recorded message lasting approximately 4 minutes, and it provides general information on the town bus tour. Pacton-on-Sea is a beautiful West Coast town and has attracted tourists for many years. One of the best ways of getting to know the town is to take the bus tour, which provides a wonderful viewing experience from one of our open-top buses. The tour is a round trip of the town, and there are a total of 4 stops where passengers can get on and off the bus. A lot of people start at the first stop, which is at the train station, as this is where many tourists arrive in the town. The next stop after the station is the aquarium, which is famous for its dolphin show, and which has recently expanded to include sharks. This is well worth a visit and is very reasonably priced. Leaving the aquarium, the bus tour goes along the coast road and after a few kilometers comes to the old fishing village, where you can get off to stroll along the waterfront. There are some original buildings here, but most of the area has been modernized and is now used as a harbor for all kinds of sea craft, including yachts and some amazing powerboats. The tour then heads off to the last stop, and this is where most of the shops are. So for those of you keen to do a bit of shopping, this is the place for you. Our advice is to go to this part of the town in the morning when it is relatively quiet. It does get very busy in the afternoons, especially at the height of the season. This area of the town includes an ancient water fountain where many people like to have their photograph taken, so do look out for this.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 15 to 20.
Okay, everyone. Number 11. Come on. Apa itu isinya? Dolphin and
Sharks.
sharks. Oke, betul sekali. Sharks. Good. Number 12. Apa tuh?
Old fishing village.
Harbor.
Old fishing
Old
village.
fishing
Old
village.
fishing village. Betul sekali. Old.
Oh, yang itu.
Old fishing
Village.
Ini hati-hati banget sih karena ini pakai apa namanya, pakai apa, uppercase. Old fishing village, ya. No more than 3 words, everyone. Okay, good. Terus number 13. Apa tuh? Shopping center. Apa?
Shopping center.
Shopping, yaitu very clear, everyone. Shopping. Very old, tadi very old-nya diganti menjadi ancient, ya.
Water fountain.
Apa? Water fountain, betul. Kenapa tuh water fountain?
Air mancur.
Air mancur, ya, water fountain, betul sekali. Akan berbahayakan. Water fountain. Oke. Saya try to kalau ini ditulis sih. Sip. Sharks, old fishing village, shopping, and water fountain. Itu isinya. Oke. Dan tadi ada beberapa word yang diganti, kayak misalkan ini very old, tadi dia bilangnya ancient, ancient water fountain. Jadi ya, still beware of synonym and paraphrasing, by the way. Oke, good. Kita ke bawah lagi, everyone, untuk mengerjakan nomor 15 sampai nomor 20. Nih, no more than 2 words. Nggak boleh lebih dari 2 kata. Di sini, teman-teman akan melihat soal. You need to have bla 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 to buy a ticket for, to have apa nih? Pasti kata benar nih. Punya apa untuk bisa beli tiket seharga 10 pounds. Nomor 16, the bus tour lasts berapa tuh? Bertahan. The cost of the bus ticket include entrance to the Oke, harganya sudah termasuk masuk ke daerah mana? Ini pasti ada fitur atau fasilitas tambahan. You can listen to the audio commentary which has been made by the. Oke, dibuat oleh siapa? If the weather is wet, it is a good idea to bring. Ini mungkin bisa keprediksi banget ya, karena ini cuacanya ya hujan lah ya. Membawa apa tuh? Oke, itu gampang banget. Don't forget to bring bla 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 when you book online. Bawa apa nih guys? Kalau misalnya kita booking online, itu juga bisa gampang. Oke, setelah kita bisa prediksi apa aja jawaban yang kemungkinan besar bakal keluar. Oke, let's listen to the audio now.
Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Now, some details of the costs and timings. A family ticket, which includes 2 adults and up to 3 children, costs $30. An adult ticket costs $15. Children under the age of 15 are $5, and student tickets are $10, as long as you have a student card. All tickets are valid for 24 hours, which means that you can get on and off the bus as many times as you like within a 24-hour period. So you could, for example, start the tour in the afternoon and complete it the following morning. The first bus of the day leaves the station at 10 a.m., and the last one of the day leaves at 6 p.m. Buses leave every 30 minutes, and each tour takes a total of 50 minutes. There are many attractions at each of the stops, so wherever you get off the bus, there will be plenty to do. The bus tour tickets do not include entrance to any of these attractions apart from the museum, which is located near the aquarium. Some buses have local guides who will point out places of interest and will provide information on the town. However, we cannot guarantee that every bus will have a guide, and so we also have an audio commentary that has been specially recorded for the bus tour by the tourist office. Headphones are available on the bus, and these are easy to operate. There is no extra charge for these. Just plug in, select the required language, and adjust the volume. Due to the winter months being rather cold and wet in Pacton-on-Sea, the bus tours only operate from March to September. The weather is usually warm and sunny during these months, so remember to bring some sun protection, especially on hot days. And of course, it does occasionally rain here in the summer, so if the weather looks bad, remember to bring some rainwear. The bus tours are available no matter what the weather. At the height of the summer, the tours can get very busy, so you are advised to book. You can book tickets online, over the phone, and also at the station, and at any of the other tour stops. When booking over the phone, you can collect your tickets at any of the stops at the start of your tour. When you do it online, you can print your e-ticket, which you must remember to bring with you. Thank you for calling the Pacton-on-Sea phone line, and we look forward to seeing you soon on one of our tour buses.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute.
Okay, number 15, everyone. You have a
Student card.
Student card.
student card, betul sekali.
Student card.
Student cardnya biasa ya. Ini doang, student card. Okay, good. Number 16, the bus tour lasts. Bertahan berapa menit tadi?
3 minutes.
50 maybe.
50 ya, 50 ya. 50-50.
Yes, 50.
Oke, nice.
Tulisannya bagus banget, Kak.
Iya. Ini
Rapi banget.
tulisan terburu-buru nih.
Padahal susah
Oke.
loh nulis gitu itu.
Ini ya pakai apa ini? Ini tuh kurang bagus nih pentetnya. Nomor 17. The cost of the bus ticket includes entrance to
Museum.
Museum.
Betul sekali ya, museum. Betul sekali. Betul sekali, everyone. Ya, you can listen to the audio commentary which has been made by
Tourist office.
Tourist
Tourist
office.
Betul sekali, tourist office. Nice. Tourist office, good. Kita samakan dulu ya. Nice. Nomor 19, if the weather is wet, it is a good idea to bring
Rainwear.
rainwear. Betul sekali, good guys ya. Wah, ini pada jago-jago ya di sini. Rainwear. Nice. Nomor 20, don't bring your
E-ticket.
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 Oke, e-ticket. Ini gini ya.
E-ticket.
Ini udah umumnya kayak gini. E-strip tiket ya.
E-ticket.
Sorry, jangan pakai titik. Oke, e-ticket. Nice everyone. Sudah, ini jawaban yang benarnya. Nomor 15, student card. 16, 50 minutes. 17, museum. 18, tourist office. 19, rainwear. And then number 20 is e-ticket.
E-ticket.
E-ticket. Good, kita langsung ke bawah lagi. Nomor 21, section 3 everyone. Nih, ini multiple choice. Question number 21 until 30. Dan kita diminta untuk menjawab nomor 21 sampai 26 dulu. Oke, choose the correct letter. Di sini ada pertanyaannya. Devi hardly says that the computer system has apa? Ya, memiliki apa? The main problem with the computer system is that it apa? Maksudnya main problemnya, it-nya pasti kan ke komputer kan? It apa? Komputernya kenapa? Timetabling has become an issue because timetabling tuh ya fiturnya memiliki masalah karena apa tuh? Jadi timetabling memiliki masalah. 24, to solve the timetabling issues, Randir suggests that menyarankan untuk apa tuh? Ini kegiatannya ABC doang. 26, Randir says that a new system sistem yang terbaru mungkin saja apa? Need to be trial, still have problems, maybe more economical. Apa nanti ya didengarkannya ya? Di audionya gimana? Improving existing system will take berapa nih waktunya? A few weeks, 4 or 5 months, or even 9 months. Okay? So, seperti biasa teman-teman, before you listen to the audio, sebisa mungkin teman-teman baca sama opsinya juga ya. Too many user, never work well, become outdated, it's too slow, stop working, display incorrect data. Baca sama opsinya biar kebayang gitu ya. Jadi ketika teman-teman melihat ada kata-kata, misalnya ada kata-kata never work well, tapi sama si audionya dibuat paraphrasingnya ya, dibuat sinonimnya, oh berarti itu jawabannya gitu guys ya. Jadi biasakan baca bersama opsinya. Oke. Nah, setelah teman-teman tahu prediksinya, kita dengerin lagi everyone, section 3 ya.
Recording 41. You will hear a conversation between an admissions officer and a manager from the university's technologies department. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Ini ada jeda dulu nih. Tapi kita udah baca duluan ya.
Hello, I'm Randy Agotra from the Technologies Department.
Ah, yes, good. I'm Dave Hadley. Thanks for coming to see me.
That's okay. I believe you want us to do some work for you.
Yes, that's right. I'm responsible for student admissions to the college, and I use a computer system to help process student enrolments and to do the timetabling. But it really doesn't suit the way we work these days. It's over 10 years old, and although it was fine when it was first introduced, it's just not good enough now.
Okay, what problems are you experiencing?
Well, 20 years ago, the college was quite small, and we didn't have the numbers of students or tutors that we have now.
So the system can't handle the increasing volumes?
Well, there's a lot more data now, and it sometimes seems the system has crashed, but in fact, it just takes ages to go from one screen to the next.
Right. Is that the only problem?
Well, that's the main one, but there are others. In the past, doing the timetabling was quite simple, but now we have a lot more courses, and what's made it complicated is that many of them have options.
Right, but the system should allow you to include those.
Well, no, it doesn't. It was supposed to, and a few years ago we did ask someone from the technologies department to fix it, but they never seemed to have the time.
Are there any other issues with the system?
Well, I've been given extra responsibilities, and so I have even less time to do the timetabling. If there was anything you could do, Randir, to make the process more efficient, that would be really helpful.
Well, it sounds like you could do with an assistant, but that's obviously not possible. So what about having an online system that students can use to do their scheduling?
How would that work?
Well, it may mean less choice for students, but we could create a fixed schedule of all the courses and options, and they could then view what was available.
And work it out for themselves. That sounds great.
Okay, so we'll need to decide whether or not to improve the existing system or to build a completely new system.
Well, I'd much prefer to have a new system. Quite frankly, I've had enough of the old one.
Okay, that'll probably take longer, although it may save you money in the long run. When were you hoping to have this in place?
Well, it's January now, and the new intake of students will be in September. We need to start processing admissions in the next few weeks, really.
Well, it will take more than a few weeks, I'm afraid. As an initial estimate, I think we'll be looking at April or May to improve the existing system, but for a new system, it would take at least 9 months. That would be October at the earliest.
Okay, sip everyone. Number 1. David says that the computer system has what?
Has become outdated.
Become outdated.
Betul sekali. Nomor 21 isinya adalah outdated. Ya, udah udah jadul lah ya.
Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
Oke, ini baru ngomong lagi.
What are the next steps?
Sip. 22, the main problem with the computer system is that
Is too
It's
slow.
too
it is too
slow.
slow. Udah nge-lag ya. Oke, udah lag. 23, timetabling has become an issue because of what?
System does not handle
The system
code.
doesn't handle
The
course
course
option.
option. Betul, sekalian nggak bisa handle itunya tuh, course optionnya. 24, to solve timetabling issues, Randir says that
Students should create their own
betul
timetable.
sekali. Makanya dia bilang secara online aja supaya siswanya bisa bikin timetabling sendiri.
Yep.
Oke, 25, Randir says that a new system may mungkin saja apa?
More
Be more
economical.
economical.
More economical ya, lebih murah lah ya. 26, save money, betul? Saving money. 26, improving the existing system will take
9 months.
no.
Or 5.
4
months.
or 5 months ya. Yang 9 months itu yang new system. Oke, kalau yang few weeks itu nggak mungkin katanya. Oke, jadi dia tadi bilang April or May. Jadi 4 or 5 months.
Iya.
Betul sekali. Oke, nice everyone. Good. Kita ke bawah lagi. Kita selesaikan nomor 27 sampai nomor 30. Lihat arahannya, no more than 2 words. Gak boleh lebih dari 2 kata. Seperti biasa, kita harus baca dulu. Get approval from, mendapat persetujuan dari siapa tuh. Berarti akan ngomongin orang atau nama jabatan. Kalau masalah approval gitu mah. Complete bla 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 form. Berarti nama formulirnya. Complete a what? Book a, pesan apa nih? Book a bla 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 with the system analyst. Ya. Pesan atau adakan apa gitu ya, sama nih setup, adakan juga nih setup bla 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 with technology team. Ini book a what, ini setup a what gitu kan. Sip, kita akan langsung dengerin audionya.
If we are to have a new
Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
What are the next steps if we are to have a new system?
Well, the first question is, do you have support from your senior management?
Yes, I've already discussed it with them, and they're also keen to get this work done.
Okay, because I was going to say that's the first thing you need to do, and without that we can't go ahead.
Yes, I've done that.
That's good.
Actually, they mentioned that there's probably a form I need to complete to formally start the project.
Yes, that's the next thing you need to do. I'll send you an email with a link so you can fill it in online. It's called a project request form.
Okay, great. And then what happens?
Well, I have a list of things, but I think the third thing you should do is see Samir. He's our analyst who will look at the system and identify what needs to be done.
Okay, can you send me his contact details and I'll set up a meeting with him?
Okay, that's good. So we should soon be able to get a team together to start the work. Some members of our team work in different locations, so it's not easy to have face-to-face meetings.
That's okay. I'm used to having conference calls, providing they're not late at night.
Right, so I'll send you details of the team, and if you could set up a call, that would be great.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thanks.
That is the end of section 3.
Oke, sip. Mendapat persetujuan dari mana tuh? Get approval from?
Gak tahu ya, kayaknya cuma dengar senior aja.
Oke, senior management. Betul sekali.
Oh,
Good, everyone.
management.
Saya mendingan pakai ini aja deh, biar cepet ya. Senior ya.
Senior dong, dengarnya.
Senior management. Oke, ini isinya. Senior management number 27, sorry. Sudah. Kita ke nomor 28. Di nomor 28, isinya apa everyone tadi? Complete a?
Project
request. Betul sekali. Project request. Nice. Kita ke nomor 29. Nomor 29 apa tadi? Book a? Meeting. Betul sekali. Tapi dia bilangnya setup ya.
Meeting.
Karena sama, book setup itu sama. Oke. Meeting. Terus nah baru di sininya setup. Tadi dia bilangnya hold ya. Oke. Apa tadi setup a what?
Conference call.
Conference call, betul sekali ya. Sip, conference call ya. Nice everyone. Number 1 itu adalah senior management, nomor 28 itu adalah project request, nomor 29 itu adalah meeting, nomor 30 itu adalah conference call. Good. Kita langsung ke section 4 terakhir nih guys. Nomor 31 sampai 40. Kita ke ini udah langsung di semuanya ini ya. Oke, ini adalah apa? Using a notes ya to follow talk. Ada bisa di sini ada ceramics, ada glass, ada concrete.
Wow.
Terus di sini no more than 2 words, gak boleh lebih dari 2 kata. Oke, kita langsung coba kita isinya per ini dulu ya, per notes ya. Ini per keramik, maksudnya keramik dulu, nanti glass, gitu kan? Nanti concrete. Sini keramik nih. Keramik that bake approximately kira-kira berapa tuh? Ini kayaknya tahun ya. Oke. The first figurines were made in the area of di area apa tuh? Early humans could not use their pots to store. Untuk menyimpan apa tuh? Their pots to store. The Chinese improved the quality of the ceramics by mixing mencampurkan apa tuh? With the clay. Clay itu lumpur kalau nggak salah ya.
Clay.
Tanah liat
I
bukan?
forget.
Tanah liat bukan?
Lempung.
Ya, benar, tanah liat betul.
Liat tanah lempung.
Chinese porcelain was also called apa nih? Chinese porcelain juga disebut dengan apa? Both girl added quartz and what to clay to make a porcelain. Ini vocabnya mantap ya. Vocabnya mantap sekali ini ya. Hal-hal yang kita tuh nggak tahu ini kayaknya ini proses pembuatan keramik atau apalah gitu ya. Jadi kita langsung dengerin nomor 31 sampai 36 dulu. 31 sampai 36 dulu ya guys ya. Kita bahas per notes dulu.
Okay.
Recording 42. You will hear a lecture about how the production of ceramics, such as plates, pots and glass, first began. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the origins of ceramics. So first of all, let's start off with, what is a ceramic? Well, generally speaking, ceramics are what you get when you apply heat to certain inorganic, non-metallic solids and then allow them to cool. And examples of ceramics are everyday things like earthenware pots, crockery, glassware, and even concrete. So how did it all begin? Well, it all started around 29,000 years ago, when humans discovered that if you dig up some soft clay from the ground, mould it into a shape, and then heat it up to a very high temperature, when it cools, the clay has been transformed into something hard and rigid. And so what did those first humans do with their discovery? Well, they created figurines, which were small statues and which depicted animals or gods or any shape that the clay could be moulded into. And all this activity was centred around southern Europe, where there is also evidence of ceramics that were created much later. The early humans also found a practical use for their discovery, such as storing things like grain, although there were drawbacks. The pots were porous, so that although they could carry water in them, it wasn't possible to store it over a long period. And also they were quite brittle and shattered very easily if they were dropped. But despite these problems, it was many thousands of years before there were any improvements. In China, at around 200 BC, they discovered that by adding minerals to the clay, they could improve both the appearance and the strength of the ceramics. But it took nearly 1,000 years before they perfected the process to produce high-quality ceramics known as porcelain. And once they had perfected the process, they kept it a secret for another 1,000 years. Compared to the first ceramics, porcelain was lighter, finer, harder and whiter, and became an important commodity in China's trading with the rest of the world for hundreds of years. In fact, it became so valuable that it was known as white gold, and spies were sent to China to discover what they did to the clay to produce such high-quality merchandise. It wasn't until the 18th century that the secret began to unravel. A German alchemist called Johann Friedrich Böttger was asked by the king to make gold out of lead. Unfortunately, Böttger failed to achieve this and soon gave up. But in order to please the king, he attempted to make high-quality porcelain. And after many years of experimentation, he discovered that by adding quartz and a material called China stone to very high-quality clay, he managed to get the same results that the Chinese had been achieving for the last 1,000 years. We'll now look at another ceramic which is made from mixing sand with minerals and heating to over 600 degrees Celsius. When this mixture cools, the result is, of course, glass.
Oke, dah. Sebelum kita pindah ke glass, kita jawab dulu ini. Oke, nomor 31, approximately berapa?
29.000 tahun yang lalu.
Betul sekali,
29,000
good.
years ago.
29.000.
Itu pakai ago nggak Kak ya?
Years ago,
maksimal
ya,
dua
pakai
kata.
ago. 29 years ago, betul?
Maksimal 2 kata kan Kak?
Itu kan or a number. Kalau number boleh. Jadi kalau misalnya ada kayak gini, ya kan or a number, berarti itu artinya adalah satu nomor dan 2 kata gitu maksudnya. Oke? Dan ini
kalau gitu boleh ya?
ini termasuk satu kata, satu nomor, 2 kata. Jadi boleh. Oke, seperti
Dan
itu.
atau hanya.
Good, nomor 32. Tadi apa di area mana tadi?
Southern
Southern Europe ya. Very good. Southern. Nah, gini ya. Southern Europe. Good. Nomor 33. To store water. Betul sekali ya. Water. Good. Terus tadi nomor 34 tadi kedengaran banget ya. By using apa? Minerals. Minerals. Betul sekali. 35 China's porcelain itu disebut dengan
White gold.
Hah?
Emas putih.
White gold, betul sekali. White gold. Benar. White gold. Terus lagi tadi Böttger add quartz and
China stone.
China stone. Okay, China stone. Because everyone. 31, 29 years ago. Oke. 32 itu adalah Southern Europe. 33 water. 34 minerals. 35 itu adalah white gold. 36 quartz and China stone. Oke, step. Kita ke glass nih. Sedikit 37 sama 38 doang. Glass of production is similar to clay. Okay. Clay ceramics. Apart from the rate of, terpisah dengan rate of apa tuh? The Romans introduced the use of the glass to make apa tuh? Sip. Yuk.
The main difference between ceramics made from clay and glass is that clay is made up of crystalline plates which become locked together in the cooling process, whereas glass cools too quickly for crystals to form. Apart from that, the process of heating up naturally occurring materials to transform them is the same. The origins of glass date back to 3500 BC, but it wasn't until the Roman Empire, 2000 years ago, that the art of glass blowing and the practical uses of glass became more widespread. One of the more innovative uses was to use it in windows, as up until then, They had just been holes in walls. It must have been very drafty in those days. The Romans were also responsible for inventing concrete.
Oke, sip. 37. Apart from rate of, kedengeran nggak tadi? Proses pendinginan tadi katanya.
Cooling proses ya, Kak?
Betul sekali. Yes, cooling process. Cooling process. Nomor 38, tadi bangsa Roma itu menggunakan glass untuk membuat apa?
Window.
Windows. Betul sekali. Windows. Good. 37, cooling process. 38, Windows. Bagus, everyone. Terakhir nih, konkret. 39 sampai nomor 40. Plus, everyone.
Concrete. And although the origins are uncertain, experts think that this is largely due to the high level of volcanic activity in the area. The Romans observed that when volcanic ash mixes with water and then cools, it gets extremely hard and almost impossible to break up. The chemical reaction that follows is very complex and continues for many years, and the concrete just keeps getting harder. Evidence of this are the numerous Roman remains that are still standing, many of which are almost completely intact. One of the most important facts about concrete for the Romans was that it can be created underwater. As the Roman Empire grew, the Romans needed to take control of the seas, and for this they needed to build harbours capable of holding a fleet of ships. Pouring concrete mixture into the sea immediately started the hardening process, and rather than just dissolving in the mass of water, the substance was tough and long-lasting. This strange characteristic of concrete made a significant contribution to the success of the Roman Empire.
Oke, sudah. 39. Tadi apa tadi? Dibalik tadi ya?
Volcanic ash ya.
Volcanic ash.
Volcanic ash.
Volcanic
Betul
ash.
sekali. Volcanic ash. Tadi dia bilangnya volcanic ash and water. Sedangkan di sininya water and volcanic ash. Same. Apa-apa. 40 terakhir. Large what?
Harbor.
Sambungan ya. Harbors. Oke. Harbors. Nice. Sudah deh. 39 isinya adalah volcanic ash. Nomor 40 isinya adalah harbors. Oke. Sudah deh guys. Is there any questions? It's done.
Dan
It's done. Okay. For tomorrow, we would like to study or even learn about writing skill. Your writing skill.
Oke. Kak, besok untuk writing skill kita praktek nulis juga ya, Kak?
Untuk ya ada, tapi nggak akan semuanya karena pertemuannya kurang, nggak akan keburu. Saya harus memaparkan beberapa materi juga. Jadi untuk masalah prakteknya atau praktisnya sebenarnya teman-teman bisa latihan di rumah. Actually, okay, you can search Google and then bagaimana penulisan yang bagus gitu kan, teman-teman bisa mulai latihan. Tapi saya akan menjelaskan poin-poin dan materi-materi dan tips-tips dan kits-kits bagaimana caranya melihat membangun penulisan yang bagus itu kayak gimana ya. Yang bagus menurut IELTS ya, bukan bagus menurut kaidah penulisan yang lain. Oke.
Itu writing 1 dan 2 Kak ya, di cover semua.
Ya, betul sekali. Skill writing 1 and writing 2. Cepat kok, cepat. Okay.
Cepat kita. Oh iya Kak, mau nanya.
Karena kan saya akan memaparkan poin besarnya. Teman-teman tinggal elaborasi, teman-teman tinggal prakteknya. Dan saya juga akan membimbing beberapa poin yang penting ya, yang harus dipraktekin juga ada kok. Cuman nggak akan praktek semuanya, karena waktunya nggak akan keburu dong kalau kayak gitu. Teman-teman nggak akan nerima materi banyak.
Ya sama satu lagi Kak, di IG itu saya lihat ada promo kelas baru ya per September 12 kalau nggak salah ya kemarin. Di Kingdom Course ini juga sama program 1 bulan. Itu materinya sama kayak ini atau beda Kak kalau misalnya ikut lagi?
Kayaknya kalau pengajarnya saya kemungkinan sama deh. Kemungkinan sama.
Sama ya.
Mau ikut lagi kamu? Mau ikut lagi?
Kurang 1 bulan.
Kurang, ya, betul sekali. Karena memang kalau IELTS 1 bulan memang kurang. Apalagi 20 pertemuan ya. Jadi tapi buat teman-teman yang nggak tahu nih IELTS itu apa, bermanfaat banget. Bermanfaat 20 pertemuan cukup lah. Kalau misalnya ingin mengenal, oh IELTS-nya gini, oh gini, bermanfaat. Tapi kalau misalnya buat orang-orang yang buat orang-orang yang nanti Desember tes, kurang lah 1 bulan mah.
Kirain beda kamu mau ikut lagi.
Beda, beda kayaknya sama-sama, kayaknya bakal sama deh. Oke, bakal sama. Kalau mau privat sama saya, jadi promo deh. Oke, sorry guys.
Iya.
Sudah ya.
Ya, makasih Kak.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Silakan. Lulu, ada, Celica.
Ada yang nanya nomor 29 jawabannya apa gitu Kak di chat.
29.
Tuh,
Volcanic Ash, 39. Volcanic Ash. Thank you Putri, Fatima. Udah mewakili. Thank you Putri. Oke. Yang lainnya udah?
Udah Kak.
Oke, thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you so much everyone for coming. Thank you so much also for your nice trying ya untuk jawab soal-soalnya. Bagus sekali. Ya, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Kak. Thank you.
Ya, welcome.
Terima kasih telah menonton video ini. Jangan lupa subscribe channel ini sebagai bentuk dukungan kalian agar channel ini terus memberikan konten yang bermanfaat. Terima kasih.